everyone, God of Ka here, and in today's video, we are going to talk about tuners, why they are cool and how other types could be better. And about the latter, we have to talk about what makes a tuner a tuner. A tuner monster is a monster that goes into your main deck and is primarily used for synchro summoning, adding their level to another monster's level to create a synchro monster, right? Where does that say in, for example here, Junk Synchron's effect box, right? Where does it say that? Normally with these kinds of monsters you have that monster's ruling there, like with all of the others, right? Where is it? Well, in this case, I would argue that the rules-based property is treated like a keyword, and you reference this ruling within the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rules. And due to this, we are allowed to have normal tuner monsters. Shocking, I know. Or at minimum, less effects in the effect box, right? Makes it less bloated. And due to this, we are able to have monsters that do not go beyond, let's see, for Magic Key here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 some odd lines. They do not go beyond that because they do not have the synchro summoning effect to apply, right? They do not have that. It's all a rule. Why can't these rules be the same for, like, unions, for example, here? Now, it would be good to, like, segue into unions, but we have to go in an approximate chronological order in these, well, types is releases going forward for these changes that I wish to show. So let's talk about tunes, right? Oh, tunes. Pardon my French, but they got fucked over real good. And I mean it too. If you read Blue Eyes Toon Dragon now, again, that is a lot of text to mainly spell out what tunes do instead of just putting it in the rulebook, right? As for Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, sorry about that, cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by attributing 2 monsters while you control Toon World. Cannot attack the turn it is summoned. You must pay 500 life points to declare an attack with this monster. If Toon World on the field is destroyed, destroy this card. Can attack your opponents directly unless they control a Toon monster, in which case this card must attack a Toon monster for its attacks. That's a lot. And it only spells out what a Toon monster does. No extra effects, right? That a Blue Eyes of a Toon Dragon may have, right? I argue that this screwed over Toon monsters. The restrictions that this is given alone is way too much. I think Toon Monsters should be better. And what happened to Toon World? Right? In the show, Toon World transformed all of your monsters into Toon Monsters while they were on the field, right? I would argue that alone would be broken, so we just create new Toon Monsters for the game. That is just my argument there, but an additional effect for Toon World was for your Toon Monsters to hide within the pages of it. Basically, they are not affected by your opponent's cards while they are in the pages of said Toon World. But what do we have here? Activate this card by paying 1,000 life points. That's it. And we have to rely on the Toon Monsters, giving them extra rule-based effects. So I did some changing, right? So the new Toon type rule, I'm basically combining everything that was from IRL and in the anime that creates a type that is a powerful blend, but at a great cost, as we will see. New Toon type rule. Toon Monsters can attack your opponent directly while the opponent does not control one or more Toon Monsters. Toon Monsters cannot be attacked by non-Toon Monsters. Now, the latter is the anime effect, while the latter is a OCG, TCG original effect. Now, here is where Toon World's revamped effect comes into play. After a Toon Monster successfully attacks, you can place them in an available spell and trap zone you control. Toon Monsters in your spell and trap zone are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. During your main phase, you can special summon Toon Monsters in your spell and trap zones to your side of the field, aka your main monster zones, if I remember to put that in, but too late now. I just had to clarify that. If this card is destroyed, destroy all of your Toon Monsters on your side of the field. This is the glass cannon effect, which makes people think, should I run Toon World if there is an MST that can easily destroy all of my Toon Monsters, either on field, in the monster zones and or in these spells and trap zones? Makes people ponder on that, right? And on that note, I decided to do a little revamp of one of the Toon Monsters, just to show how much of a drastic change this would do, right? And here he is, Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. Now, I got rid of the summoning sickness and the life points pay to attack and the needing to tribute 2 monsters to a special summon, because, come on, it's just a normal summon in application, but not in name. So we just got rid of all of those nasty things, and we turned Blue Eyes Toon Dragon into a Dragon Toon normal monster with the flavor text. Thanks to the power of Toon World, this legendary dragon has become even more virtually invincible. But those who live to tell the tale will be left bamboozled and seen as crazy if they tell the tale. Because, come on, this is a freaking gremlin of a beast. If people thought you were getting beaten up by this gremlin who was able to squash and stretch, who would take you seriously? Like, let's be real. You would probably go into the loony bin if you tried to push this as a fact. Just saying. So that's how I would fix Toon monsters. Does it make them more powerful? You could debate me with that. Moving on to unions. Finally, we get to these guys. Introduced by the XYZ monsters. You know, X head, cannon, Y dragon head, and Z metal tank. Our core example for here is, yes, a assault core example, right? Again, wording is very bloated. It already has a unique effect, so why not just change that up a bit, shall we? This is the new union type rule. You can only do one of the following per turn. Equip a specific union monster to a specific target. For example, here our Z metal, our A assault core can only, it says, target one light machine type monster you control. Equip this card to that target, right? So, in this case, a assault core can only equip to a light machine type monster, right? Or unequip a specific union monster from a specific target and special summon the union monster to an available main monster zone. I really should have been prepared, but I have been trying to make this work. You wouldn't believe it. Anyways, right, where were we? Oh, right, the next effect, the equipped monster, if the equipped monster would be destroyed, destroy the union monster it is equipped with instead. Now, with all of this in mind, since I didn't come prepared with an example, let us just use our imagination for a little bit. I know it's shocking you are watching a video to not use some of your imagination, but I am asking you to use it. Just play along, please. Okay, so let us just imagine the first thing you read can only be equipped to light machine type monsters, period. And then after that would be its, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one other union monster from your graveyard to your hand. This definitely plays well into its preservation for its equipped person, because if the monster equipped with a assault core, aka a light machine type monster, would be destroyed, just destroy a assault core instead. Its unique effect will then trigger getting you an in-graveyard union monster. Preferably part of this whole ABC line, probably, because it just makes sense with how unions are. They are so focused on that, with how the game has developed. Would this somehow change how unions are played? I do not know. Moving on from that, we got spirits, and they were meant to be how, at least in my understanding of things, this is how tunes were meant to be like, returning to some place, but this is even worse, right? Now, this is bloated, if you cannot tell. These effects are very bloated, so why don't we trim it down to just putting them into a rule, right? So, new spirit type rule. Monsters with this type can only be summoned with their specific summoning type. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, normal and plain effect monsters can only be normal summoned, set, flip summoned, or flipped face up. No nebulous special summoning. Keep that in mind. Ritual monsters can only be ritual summoned. Pendulum monsters can only be pendulum summoned, etc. Then, during the end phase of the turn they were summoned properly, they are returned to the hand or the extra deck if you just so happen to have a Spirit Fusion monster, Spirit Synchro, Spirit Xyz, or Spirit Link. So, that would definitely shorten these effects and maybe rework how pendulums work. It would definitely rework how they work, but that could be a conversation in the comments section below. Now let's talk about Gemini. Oh, Gemini. You, Konami, messed up so hard with a type that is named after a zodiac sign that I was born under. Screw you with this kind of effect, right? And due to how bloated our example here is, Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon, let's give it a new effect, right? Let's just take out its whole Gemini thing and just keep its unique effect. Now, as for the new Gemini type rule, monsters with this type are treated as normal monsters while on the field and graveyard, and will not have their effects available while they are treated as a normal monster. You must give up your normal summon for one Gemini monster on your side of the field to be treated as an effect monster. Now, I am going to probably hear this a lot. With all of these types from Union onward, these changes may not change how they are used, but in terms of the bloat, I argue this is better. I would argue that removing the effect-based rulings from the card and just make it that you have to reference the type on that monster, I would say makes so much more sense. It makes it easier to read, and hey, we could have a Toon Union Spirit Gemini Tuner monster. We could have that. But did I prepare that? No, because I wanted to get this done as as fast as possible before my ADHD riddle brain gets the better of me. So, at the end of the day, what do you guys think? Do you think my idea is batshit? Do you think we could maybe improve on this? Or heck, do you even agree with my understanding of all of this? Let me know in the comments section below. With all that said, this is God of Caw, signing off.